Welcome back to Exotic Gardening UK, Yorkshire Kris Weekly. Finally, we've got some half decent weather. We've got sunshine and showers today, a little bit of a breeze, but it's nice and mild. And finally, I think for the first time this year, I'm actually going to get the spade in the ground. And what I'm doing today is starting the process of being able to transplant some palms. Now you may remember this initial bed here with the big Jabea palm behind me. This was planted up in year one 7 years ago, just to get a few plants in that really want to get established nice and early. So the big Jabea went in, and around it at the four corners we had the Trachycarpus ulcralensis, and we also had 3 Trachycarpus princeps as well. And they were put in to get into the ground where they grow much better than in pots, but I knew over time that the Jabea would be too big for the palms around them. And it's come the time now where I want to transplant these palms to leave the Jabea to get as big as it needs to get and give the smaller Trachycarpus palms room to expand themselves and grow. Now, I don't want to just dig them up and plonk them somewhere else in the garden. What I'm going to do to help establish these palms is sever the roots around the palm now in March, and then in a few months' time I'll transplant them so they'll be less shocked to the palm. And what will happen is when I dig down, which I'm going to do now with a spade, it will sever all the roots going around this area, and that will promote growth of new roots over the next month or two, just to help concentrate the feeding roots and the growth in this small area rather than trying to expand. And it means when I actually do dig up the palm fully and transfer it somewhere else to replant, it won't be as big a shock. So I'm going to start with the Trachycarpus ulcralensis, or as it used to be called, Trachycarpus manipur. I've been careful, I've moved a few stones out of the way, and I know where my water supply is here, so I'm not going to accidentally cut through that. And because it's in a raised bed on 2 sides, then obviously it's already being stopped from growing roots out this way, but will be going down. But I'm going to go through the soil here and cut through. I can feel them now. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Cut through all the roots in this area. Now the Trachycarpus ulcralensis is a bit strange as it creeps. You can see the trunk out. It started off here and it's gone further in this direction. This means that the main root ball is probably started off over here and then it's expanded further over that way. So I'm doing quite a wide trench area. And I think I've hit a rock as well. There we go, there's some more roots. So like I said, this is severing up all the roots. And then I'll wiggle the spade back and forth just to make a little bit of a gap. And because it's a raised bed, this is nice, easy digging. It's nice good topsoil that I put in here. We've added grit, and also because it's raised up, it's not waterlogged whatsoever. So I'm not digging through mud, which is a bonus. So I'm going to continue now going around this area and around the other 3 palms that I'm going to transplant later in spring. And as you can see now, I've gone all the way around, dug a nice trench, severed all the roots of this palm all the way around these sides, and I've also gone, put the spade down on that side as well to sever more roots. And I'll just show you what the roots look like. I have gone through some. So you can see here, these are the Trachycarpus roots, and they're not thick. They don't get much thicker than this. They're not like normal tree roots that expand over time and get woody. These stay nice and fleshy, and they don't get more than a few millimetres across, but they'll just spread out in all directions over time and grow bigger and bigger. It's quite a vigorous palm, this one, and so is the princeps. So when I get digging that, there'll be masses of roots. So there we are, stage 1 complete. Next stage, in a few months' time, is to actually dig it up fully and plant it in a different area of the garden. aloe polyphila is just hanging on. It's been absolutely battered by rainstorm after rainstorm all winter, autumn and spring now, but it's still surviving, no signs of rot, which is fantastic. Obviously the other smaller specimen rotted well before Christmas, so I'll be able to take this shelter off in about a month's time. Remember those arum lilies that I got before Christmas as bulbs? As you can see here, they've grown away nicely in the individual pots that I put them into, and they've already got many leaves in each one, and then maybe next year they'll flower. It's that time of year where we can actually start sowing some seeds, and the earliest seeds that I've got to sow are the Cobia scandens, which is a climber with purple bell-shaped flowers. We've also got 2 lots of Cleome. So the one that I usually grow is Cleome Spinosa, Violet Queen. So I'll be growing that one again. And a new one this year is Cleome boliviensis. And this one, it's got a note on the back of the packet of seeds, is that germination is very low. So there should be a lot more seeds to compensate for that in this packet. And what we're going to use is some seed compost. I've used this before. It's really fine grade, and it's really good for these seeds. So I'm just going to fill up these seed trays, and I've got these little individual modules, and these seed trays I have used before, so I am recycling the plastic. Give them a bit of a rinse out, and now I'm just going to fill up the trays with compost. I'm going to water them first, and then we'll put the seeds on here. For the Cobia scandens seeds, I'll just pull them out into my hand, and you can see these are very big seeds that are sort of winged. They're quite flat, and then the seeds in the centre of this case. And these are going to be sowed individually into this module seed tray here, and they don't need to go too deep at all. So I'm just going to basically press it underneath the soil, or compost, so to say. So just press down, and I'm going to continue putting 1 per cell until we've filled up the tray. And as the compost is already damp, I don't really need to add any more moisture to these, which is not critical because these seeds are big. But if these were tiny seeds and you water them afterwards, then the seeds can very often wash to the side and all clump together and don't germinate in the centre, which I want the seeds to do. So now I've finished, got a seed in each of these modules, apart from that one that I've just missed. There we go, put that in there. So there's 1 in each now. So I'm going to get a little bit more compost from the bag and just sprinkle this over the top just to cover the seeds. Wants to go about 5mm or so down until they're covered. And these are then going to be put on a windowsill. They want to germinate. They want to be at a temperature of about 15 to 20 degrees. So a windowsill is ideal. I'll put a bit of cling film over the top just to keep the moisture in. And that is the Cobia scandens. And now we move on to some much finer seeds. So again, got a cell here, individual cells that have already been moistened and watered. And we've got 2 lots of Cleome. Now the first lot is the rarer ones, the ones I've not grown before. White flowered Cleome boliviensis, and as you can see, put it against that white background, the seeds are pretty small. So I'm going to be careful when I sow these. So let's get them onto my hand. So then we'll get the seeds out as so. You can see how small they are, but there's plenty in there. And I'm going to divide this into 2 halves. I'm going to only sow these in this half here. And it's just a case of just sprinkling probably 2 or 3 in each cell. Like that. And I'm left with plenty here, so I will keep them. So I'll put them in this little seed packet where the cubia scandents were, and I'll sow the rest of these in a few weeks' time, because it's relatively early for sowing these. You can sow them in April as well, but they are slow to get going at the beginning, but then grow really quickly, do the Cleome. So I want to get some started now. So that's the first half done, and then the second half we're going to grow one of my favourite plants, Cleome Spinosa Violet Queen, and these have the big plumes of purple violet spider-like flowers which grow really well. So this is loose in here, so these seeds are a bit bigger and greyer, and there's a lot in a packet, so I only need a few of these. So again, just get 2 or 3 in each one, just sprinkle them in. Because these are small seeds, they don't really need any compost over the top afterwards. I'll just press these into the compost, and that will be all they need. And again, they need 15-20 degrees to germinate. So polythene over the top, plastic bag on the windowsill, and jobs are good. And so I'll pour the rest of these seeds back in. And that is the first of my seeds sown for the season. Thanks for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening UK, Yorkshire Kris Weekly. Join me next week where I'll be doing more gardening.